I'm Tracy Bingaman. I'm a full-time working mom of 5 who got sick, burned out, quit my job, and now I teach women how to mom smarter, not harder. The pressures of modern motherhood are intense. You're a busy working mom juggling all the balls and living in fear of dropping the exact wrong one. Here you'll find the tools you've been searching for to confidently prioritize your life and optimize your ability to rock all the hats that you choose to wear. I'll show you how to break through your limiting beliefs so you'll have more time and more money than you know what to do with. Because even in the busiest seasons of life, you can grow to master your money, own your time, and be the mom with all the margin. This is Fulfilled as a Mom. Busy working mom. I used to wear it like a badge of honor. Then I realized that I was drowning in to-dos and running around like a lunatic, all because this key piece was missing. I wasn't clear on what my deeply held values were. And when everything's important, nothing is important. Now that I've done the work and figured out what I value most, it makes life so much easier. Those core values serve as the compass for the direction of my life, and they inform my heck yes and my hell no responses to each and every opportunity. I've taken the process to curate core values and boiled it down into 3 simple steps. I've laid out the exact process to gain clarity so you can start applying your deeply held values to day-to-day life. To start living a purpose-driven life full of what you love and void of all that other shit, download your core value curator today. The link's waiting for you in the show notes. Today on Fulfilled as a Mom, I'm sharing 3 things I'd change if I could restart my parenting journey. We know that in life, there is no rewind button. We can't go back, call a mulligan, or redo things. But what if we could? I got to thinking the other day about what I could do differently if I could press rewind, go back and to the start of my motherhood journey, and how I'd love to share those things with you. I want to make it clear that I don't regret the way that I did it. I did the best that I could with the skills, knowledge, emotional intelligence, and information that I had at the time. This isn't meant to be me beating up on my former self, but rather offering kind and gentle advice to you. The first thing I would change would be learning to enjoy the journey. If you're anything like me, when you were pregnant, you read all the things about pregnancy and delivery, maybe a little bit about breastfeeding in that section of the books, as though that was something that a book could teach me, but not that much about actually keeping a newborn fed, happy, and alive, let alone parenting a toddler or saving for college or understanding what rules we'd put in place when our kids jump for joy after passing their test to get their driver's license. I spent all of my pregnancy researching doulas and labor and delivery information and writing up an extensive 3-page birth plan, but I didn't spend that much time thinking about recovering from giving birth. If I could go back and do it again, I would focus on savoring the moments of the journey instead of focusing on the destination that was yet to come. In life, we tend to say that we would do X when Y. I'll take up gardening once the kids are older. I'll start writing my book once things slow down. Guess what? You're just kicking the can down the road. You're focusing on doing things eventually, putting stipulations, and not living in the moment. I would focus on being present in the moment. I know that early motherhood is filled with milestones, yours and theirs. Things like teeth and food and sleeping through the night, walking, and finally waking up with enough energy to shower and put on chapstick before the baby wakes up. It's easy to get fixated on those things, comparing yourself to others, wondering when they're going to happen and focusing on them. Instead, if I could go back, I would encourage the younger mom version of me to be where her feet are, to focus on herself and those around her, and to mark milestones less. I would get in more photos, even when my hair was askew and my makeup was non-existent. I would take more videos of my kids. I would worry less about what the kids were wearing and more about how happy they were. I would let them get dirty. Heck, I would encourage them to get dirty because I want them to know the feeling of grass under their feet and dirt under their fingernails. The second one, if I could go back and change things, it's easier said than done. I would try to stress less. I'd aim to sweat the small stuff, not at all, which sounds super hard to me, even now that my kids are a little older. I would remind myself to zoom out and look at the big picture. Sure, the kids had chicken nuggets and French fries for dinner, but yesterday they chowed down on an entire bag of baby carrots and each had fruit on fruit on fruit, so they're doing okay. Yes, today was a hard day and I felt stressed to the max between work and home, and still we survived. Yesterday, I did a puzzle with the kids, and tomorrow we head to the park. So I'm not going to singularly focus on today and beat myself up for surviving, not thriving in this moment, and just move on. I would leave the dirty dishes in the sink and read a book in the evening because that was what my soul needed. I would press play on a movie on a day when I really needed some downtime and the kids weren't feeling their naps, for my own sanity and for the sake of an afternoon of some peace, which we all desperately needed. I would connect more with my breath, both being aware of my breathing and intentionally taking conscious control of my breath. I would let my kids see me deal with emotions more readily. I would tell them mommy is sad or feeling angry or overwhelmed. I would remind them that just like them, I'm a whole human being who needs things like privacy and space and sometimes a moment alone. I think if I could rewind 7 years and tell myself one thing, it would be to try to stress less. And not only to try, but to create habits and systems that made relaxed and less panic my default reaction, even when things felt hard and stressful. The third thing I would do is prioritize myself from the start. The thing about having kids is that they are loud and their needs are so in your face. In fact, if their needs aren't met, they will yell and stomp and make a big old mess just to get your attention. Your needs, they aren't that demanding and in your face, and therefore, as a devoted mother, sometimes they get pushed to the side and ignored. We become martyrs by accident, sacrificing ourselves and our needs, accidentally throwing them overboard for the needs of our employer, partner, or kids. I would be more proactive about integrating self-care strategies and making sure my basic needs were met from the get-go. I'd establish a better morning routine, even a short one, that would energize me from the beginning. If I could rewind far enough to the beginning of my career, even before I became a mom, I would be more diligent about building better boundaries. With work specifically, and with how much time I was willing to give at work. I have seen this phenomenon that at the beginning of your career, maybe you're single or dating, and maybe you don't have any little ones yet. You're less strict about boundaries. If you're salaried, you might find yourself working more and more because no one needs to be picked up from daycare or get a bath in time for bedtime. And then you go through a series of life changes. Maybe you get married, move a little further away from the office, and you have a kid or two. Then you try to backtrack and build those boundaries of getting home, quote unquote, on time, limiting your hours to, let's be honest, probably a full-time job plus. And it's harder to put up boundaries where there were none than to erect them in the first place. What would life look like if you could finally get out of survival mode, consistently find time for yourself, and be the calm, present mom you've always wanted to be? My friend Catherine Wild, best-selling author of Reclaiming Your Inner Sparkle, life coach, and the founder of Soul Care Mom, is passionate about helping women just like you to feel calm and find their unshakable confidence as moms. Imagine reconnecting with the amazing woman you are, being calm and present, and creating space for the things that you love. In her membership, Vibrant Mom Life, you'll find monthly themes that will help you shift your mindset, get out of survival mode, and find time for yourself, all while being the mom you want to be. Plus, you'll find guided meditations and yoga practices to help you infuse your days with self-care. Some days are just harder than others, and Catherine provides a library of short and sweet guided affirmations so you can press play and reconnect with your inner calm in minutes. Follow the link in the show notes to join today and stop running on empty and truly start enjoying your mom life. I would tell my younger self that getting out of work to go home and enjoy myself is absolutely a worthwhile endeavor, and that I can prove myself as a new professional without working myself to the bone. My work speaks for itself, and there aren't any bonus points for working more, and more. I would take advantage of the freedom that comes with the phases of life and start flexing the muscle of boundaries before I really needed it. And when I think about the division of labor in our household, I would have been more conscious of and intentional about how we divided up the duties. I would have paid more attention to the things that I had become the default doer of and made sure that those things were more fair at home. Reading Eve Rodsky's book, Fair Play, has opened my eyes to how we can work together to run our household without me being the default schedule, finance, transportation, and healthcare parent. If I could go back, I would avoid a lot of resentment and heartache if I had been more proactive about not letting myself get overloaded with a disproportionate amount of that labor. There is no rewind button, and I've learned so much about myself, my value, my partner, and my kiddos on this journey that you could get really bogged down in the details of what you'd do differently. And also, I did the best that I could with the information I had at the time. The same is true for you. If you choose to delve into rewind and think about what you do differently, use it as a catalyst to change things in the future and step into the version of yourself that you love and respect the most. The only direction from here is forward, but we can use the past to help us inform our future. Until next time, keep on taking one step at a time to become fulfilled as a mom, and I'll see you then. I'm doing a victory dance right now because you did it. You took the time to tune in, to reach for a better life, and to take care of you. Did our time together go by way too fast for anyone else? Head to fulfilledasmom.com for show notes and all the discount codes from today's show. You now have the tools and knowledge to change your life. Go blaze your trail, take that step, make the shift, and do the work to create fulfillment in your life today.